little under 2 years ago. And so Alexander Isak, following that injury which he picked up, is back in the Newcastle United 11. How they have prayed for his return, and how for Chelsea, Cole Palmer has been a key part of their collection this season. There was question marks raised as far as his move from Manchester City to Chelsea is concerned, but he really has settled into life at Stamford Bridge, and those performances that he's made in those first few months merited his first call up to the England senior side, and by consequence his first senior appearances for his country. But he is back to club business, he's back to domestic matters. The Premier League is back following the international break, and it's going to be Chelsea and Nicholas Jackson that's going to get us underway here at St James's Park in their traditional all-blue strip. Newcastle United in their black and white shirts, black shorts, white stockings. Chelsea to get us underway, attacking left to right, attacking the Gallowgate end in this opening period, and we are underway here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Newcastle United up against Chelsea, and it's Reece James in possession on the right side, driving midway inside the Newcastle United half. He's got two up against him, Joe Linton with the touch, but coming up straight back off of Reece James, and so out of play it goes for Newcastle United on the left-hand side, midway inside their own half. We have two other live Premier League commentaries for you this afternoon. We'll also keep you up to date on the other two games that kick off at 3 p.m. We'll be watching Burnley up against West Ham United. Burnley, who have 2 points fewer to their name after 12 Premier League matches than the infamous Derby County side of 2007-8, who picked up the fewest points in the Premier League season to take on West Ham, whilst we have Luton Town also in action up against Crystal Palace, where Rob Evans has called it an incredible 12 months as he celebrates his year anniversary at Kenilworth Road. Meanwhile, here at St James's Park, Newcastle have possession on the halfway. Given back, it's won back by Raheem Sterling for Chelsea, but referee, who's Simon Hooper this afternoon, has pulled up for Newcastle free kick on the right hand side, 5 yards from the edge of opposition territory. It's going to be Kieran Trippier to take for the Magpies, who puts the ball just inside Chelsea territory and has been the king of assists. He had 4 in 4 consecutive matches at one point this season. I'm not going to get Newcastle's ball rolling. Free kick just inside the Chelsea half. Chelsea keeping a high line around about 30 yards from goal. Free kick whipped in towards the edge of the boxes, flicked away and almost picked up by Newcastle before being cleared away by Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson on the half, flicks the ball on, looking to find Sterling, but it's going to be picked up in the end by Kieran Trippier, who will go back to Nick Pope in the Newcastle United goal. Lost it long first time, out towards the right where it's flicked on by Cucurella for Chelsea. One back again on the halfway by Newcastle United, and it will roll back in towards the path of Robert Sanchez. Mauricio Pochettino watching the game up in the stand, serving a touchline ban for an accumulation of yellow cards over the course of the season. And it's fair to say that he really has now made his imprint on this Chelsea side known. It was a slow start to their season, but now really have gathered pace as Sterling has the ball on the left-hand side, 10 yards inside Newcastle's half, as both Amron and Trippier for company plays it back inside his own half. Now crossfield ball out towards the right-hand side, where it's brought down by James. We're going to play it in towards the path of Cole Palmer, but it's picked up by Joe Linton. Goal in one of our other 3 o'clock commentaries this afternoon. Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 0. Anthony Elanga in the 3rd minute as Chelsea have possession with Conor Gallagher on the edge of the penalty area, snuffed out by Joe Linton but picked up by Ugachukwu. And now Palmer again for Chelsea. Back it goes in towards the path of Enzo Fernandez. This is Reece James, right side. Cross goes in, right footed in towards the box, but it eludes anyone and everyone. And Trippier looked for a second to see whether he could let it go out of play, but he was being put under pressure by Raheem Sterling. Eventually cleared by Newcastle, but picked up straight away by Chelsea, but it was a loose touch by Badiashile, and so Amon drives forward. This is Isak beyond the halfway on the right hand side. He's got the overlapping run of Amon if he wants him, but he moves in field. This is Guimaraes, plays it out in towards the path of Isak, who's got Badiashile for company, but it's mopped up by Cucurella inside the area, and Chelsea managed to get the ball away from danger. This is Cucurella on the left hand side, midway inside Newcastle United territory. 3.5 minutes gone. Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 0 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Bruno Guimaraes loses out. This is Raheem Sterling through the middle. Now Nicholas Jackson, 30 yards from goal. Jackson's got options either side, may go for goal himself. Inside the area he goes, then squares it off, or tries to square it off towards Sterling on the left side, but it's cleared away by Newcastle United, who turn now with Almiron, 15 yards from the edge of Newcastle opposition territory. This is Gordon looking to slip through Isak through the middle, but Robert Sanchez comes out and he clears the ball away first time. It's going to be watched out by Kieran Trippier, and it's going to be a Newcastle United throw on the right hand side, 20 yards from the edge of their own penalty area. We've played 4 minutes here at St James's Park in the Premier League, and it's Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 0, and it's been a high octane start already. Chelsea really starting the game on the front foot. Chelsea have won each of their last 3 Premier League away games. They're not going to make it 4 in a row, as the ball's lofted out to the left hand side as far as Newcastle are concerned. 10 yards is our opposition territory. It's headed back only as far as Livramento, who really shone when given the chance in the Carabao Cup against Manchester United not long ago. And that's kind of been the catalyst amongst the injuries as well to give them a more frequent run in the Newcastle United side. And it is the Magpies who have a throw on halfway out on the right hand flank. 5 minutes gone. Newcastle 0, Chelsea 0. Bruno Guimaraes up against Jackson, and now back in towards the path of Jamal Lascelles, the skipper. Moves out towards the left hand side. The pass too heavy for both Livramento and Anthony Gordon from, in the end, Fabian Schär. So a reminder of our other live Premier League commentaries this afternoon. Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 0, Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 0. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening at Turf Moor. Burnley in action up against West Ham United. They played 6 minutes in that one. It's currently goalless between Burnley and West Ham. Nothing to separate the two sides there. And at Kenilworth Road, it is Luton Town 0, Crystal Palace 0. And it looks like Crystal Palace had the better of the opening 5 minutes. Mikel Olise an opportunity in that one, but a couple of crosses into the box, but nothing really coming from it. We also have action from the EFL Championship this afternoon. The big game is at the King Power, where Leeds Leicester, who've just been reeled in by Leeds United and Ipswich somewhat. They host Watford. We'll be keeping our eyes on that one, plus all the other goals as they go in across the matches, as Blackburn take the lead at the Bet365 Stadium against Stoke by a goal to nil in that one. Meanwhile here, 6.5 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 0, and it is Chelsea with a free kick on the left hand side, midway inside the Newcastle United half. It's Enzo Fernandez who takes it and goes all the way back in towards the path of Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. He cycles it forward out towards the right hand side. Beyond the halfway it goes. We're going to find Cole Palmer, but it's won by Tino Livramento. It's now Bruno Guimaraes who is out towards the path of Jamal Lascelles in the middle here for Newcastle United. Trippier on the right, who's got Sterling for company. Forward it goes in towards the possession of Livramento, who just temporarily switched sides. Now back it goes in towards the path of Nick Pope. 50th Premier League appearance this afternoon for Nick Pope. He's kept 19 clean sheets in 49 Premier League games in Newcastle, which is already the most by a goalkeeper in their first 50 starts for the Magpies in the competition. And there's a long ball laid forward again by Newcastle. It's mopped up and it's in the path of Enzo Fernandez out towards Cucurella on the left hand side. Chelsea driving forward here. He's got Jackson in front of him. He's got Gallagher alongside. It's Gallagher who he finds out towards the right hand side. Palmer, ball goes in towards the box, flicked away for finding Cucurella. Livramento manages to clear it. Now Gordon shifting the ball over the top, but it's one back by Cucurella in the middle for Chelsea. Now and towards the path of Thiago Silva. Chukwu. Now Fernandez again inside his own half. Cole Palmer out towards the right hand side. Reece James 10 yards inside opposition territory. He's got Anthony Gordon for company. Goes back into the path of Thiago Silva now for Chelsea. 8 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. This is Chukwu again for Chelsea towards the path of Enzo Fernandez, and now towards Mark Cucurella on the left hand side. Gallagher driving forward on that left flank for Chelsea. Towards the edge of the box he goes now. He's got two alongside him in the air, but he goes alone. Has a curling effort on his right foot which just goes wide of goal. First real opportunity of note in front of goal this afternoon. It falls to Chelsea, and it's Gallagher driving on that left hand side. He moves just slightly infield, then has a shot inside the area from a acute angle. Decided to go alone despite having a couple of Newcastle United defenders in front of him, but he cannot get it past Nick Pope's post. thing we've seen from Conor Gallagher in recent weeks, the way that Mauricio Pochettino has set this side up. He likes to drive forward with the ball, usually through the middle, through the centre, but this time on the left-hand side. And here's Chelsea possession once more. 9 minutes gone. Newcastle United 0, Chelsea 0 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Palmer plays it back in towards the path of Robert Sanchez, who himself has a milestone appearance. This is 100th in the Premier League. Both Brighton and Hove Albion and Chelsea. Plays that in towards the path of Enzo Fernandez, who's got James alongside him out on the right hand side, deep inside his own half. He's been put under pressure by Livramento. Forward it goes over towards the path of Jackson. Fernandez plays it out towards Gallagher. This is Cucurella now for Chelsea. Laid it out to the left hand side. Moving infield is Raheem Sterling. It's one back by Newcastle United and Kieran Trippier. Miguel Almiron now for Newcastle United. This is Fabian Schär out along the line towards Jamal Lascelles. Trippier furthest right side towards the right hand touchline. Plays it in towards the path of Miguel Almiron. We've passed the 10-minute mark here at St James's Park. Gallagher the only real moment of note so far. Effort just going wide of the post from his right foot on the left side. Newcastle 0, Chelsea 0 here in the Premier League. Elsewhere, Burnley 0, West Ham 0, Luton 0, Crystal Palace 0, Forest 1 up on Brighton, and goalless between Sheffield United and Bournemouth, both those sides occupying the bottom end of the table. And it goes to the right hand side now. Kieran Trippier 10 yards inside Chelsea territory, laid out in towards the path of Miguel Almiron. Right side, edge of the box has got Badiashile for company. Trippier, Rosser crossing towards the box, cleared away before finding Joe Linton. Livramento couldn't get a hold of it, and now Cole Palmer runs away with it for Chelsea on their right hand side. Look to keep it in play, but then gives it away to Anthony Gordon, who lays it across in towards the path once more of Livramento, out towards Miguel Almiron. Steps in field from the right hand side, now in towards the path of Lewis Miley. Cross goes in towards the back stick, looking to find Joe Linton from the right flank, but the ball's going to run out of play for a goal kick. Trippier looking to provide the cross into the box, but he couldn't quite do anything from it. We'll be heading to Bramall Lane in just a second. Looks like something happening in the game between Sheffield United and Bournemouth. We're also going to keep you up to date what's happening in the Championship this afternoon. The key game is at the King Power. Leicester City on top of the Championship in action against Watford, currently goalless in that one. Only the one goal so far. Blackburn leading Stoke by goals nil. Meanwhile elsewhere, Birmingham 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol City 0, Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield and Southampton, Millwall take on Coventry, Norwich take on QPR, Plymouth up against Sunderland, Preston Cardiff, Swansea up against Hull. Meanwhile, in one of our other 3 o'clock commentaries, Bournemouth have taken the lead at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United by a goal to nil, and it's Marcus Tavernier has given the Cherries the lead in that one. You can listen to that game elsewhere here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Newcastle move forward here on the right hand side. Miguel Almiron in possession. Trippier towards the edge of the box, who's got both Mukachukwu and Cucurella for company. And it goes again in towards the path of Trippier. Gets the crossing on his right foot in towards the box. Looking to find Gordon in around the penalty spot. Manages to pick up possession, but has to move outside the box. Moves infield, has Palmer up against him. Lays it across in towards the path of Miley. Into Isak, who scores and gives Newcastle United the lead. You had to say it's been a goal against the runner play the way Chelsea has started, but Newcastle went in front of goal, and when Isak has a chance, he gobbles opportunities up 10 to the dozen, and a dozen minutes in, Newcastle United lead Chelsea by a goal to nil. It was the young man Lewis Miley who set up the opportunity in earnest. Cucurella looks up to the skies, and Isak back in the goals. Gordon lays it off in towards Miley's path, threads it forward in towards the path of Isak. Cucurella detached from the defensive line, and so plays the Swedish striker on side. And then from the position that he was in, around about 12 yards out, turns before taking a touch on his right foot, burying it past Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal on his 100th Premier League appearance. Side-footing it past the keeper into the back of the net, and 13 and a half minutes in, Alexander Isak has given Newcastle United the lead. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. And they go again with Gordon just beyond the halfway, snuffed out by Ukachukwu. But then fouled by Badiashile, and so Newcastle with a free kick just off centre to the right, 10 yards inside Chelsea territory. Going to be Kieran Trippier to take. 14 minutes gone. Newcastle United, thanks to that Alexander Isak goal, lead Chelsea by 1-0. Well, they love a young star. They love one of their own, Newcastle United, and that's exactly what they've got in Lewis Miley. And it was he who set that goal up for him. And they now find themselves back on the attack with a free kick. Chelsea once more keeping a very high line towards the edge of the D. Trippier to take on the right-hand side. 10 yards inside Chelsea territory as we approach the quarter of an hour mark. Swung in right-footed, in towards the box. It's flicked away by Badiashile. Cleared away by Sterling, but only as far as Miguel Almiron, who crosses the ball in towards the box, towards the near post, in towards Gordon, that headed away by Chelsea in the end. Gallagher going to move his way forward, but he gets too much of Gordon, and Newcastle with a free kick on the left-hand side towards the edge of the box, and Gallagher trying to appeal his innocence to Simon Hooper, the referee, but not that that's really going to do too much there. It was Almiron driving down the left-hand side who put the cross in initially, headed away by Reece James for Chelsea. Gallagher loses out to Joe Linton and then just clips Anthony Gordon as he was about to win the ball loosely. And so Newcastle a free kick on the left-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. 16 minutes in, Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score live audio commentary service. It's going to be Kieran Trippier to take on that wand of a right foot. What can he do in this kind of distance? Around about 25 yards out on the left side, swung in right-footed towards the back stick, headed away by Cucurella for Chelsea. It's going to be mopped up by Almiron, laid out towards the path of Trippier on the right-hand side. Cross goes in towards the back stick. It's flicked away this time by Badiashile. It's still pinballing around the penalty area. Miley with a stab at goal, but cleared away by Cucurella, only as far as Anthony Gordon. Sorry, this is Almiron now. Guimaraes, Almiron again up against Enzo Fernandez. And Miley's going to watch it go for a Newcastle throw, and suddenly Newcastle really are on top. Newcastle throw on the right-hand side. 17 minutes on the clock. Newcastle lead by 1-0. Throw goes in by Trippier. It's flicked away by Cucurella. Well, back again by Newcastle United on the right-hand side. Trippier again. This is Guimaraes up against Enzo Fernandez. Into the path of Guimaraes again. Inside the air, looks to lay it across. Comes off a Badiashile and cleared away, thumped away by Cucurella towards the halfway, where Fabian Schär dinks it on in towards the path of Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side. Along the line it goes towards Bruno Guimaraes, 10 yards inside Chelsea territory, but Newcastle have to backtrack inside their own half. Lascelles along the line towards Schär. Now Trippier in towards Jamal Lascelles again. And it goes in towards the possession of Fabian Schär. Looking for options. He's got a couple up against him, then plays out towards the right-hand side, but the pass that was intended for Almiron is slapped out by Cucurella, and will go all the way back to Robert Sanchez and the Chelsea goal. 18 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score live audio commentary services. Badiashile for Chelsea on the left-hand side, 25 yards from his own goal. This is Enzo Fernandez now with the quick 1-2 back into Badiashile's path. Fernandez once again goes out towards Gallagher, driving beyond the halfway, lays it out towards Reece James on the right-hand side. He's got Gordon and Livramento for company. Plays it forward along the line towards Jackson on the edge of the box on that right-hand flank. Back to Gallagher. Touch comes off of Gordon. Cleared away by Livramento. Only as far as Thiago Silva. 5 yards inside the Newcastle half on the right-hand side. Enzo Fernandez now in the middle. Got Guimaraes charging at him, but successfully lays it across towards Cucurella. And now in towards the path of Sterling on the left-hand side. He's got Trippier for company. Trippier steps out and wins back possession for Newcastle. This is Miley towards Joe Linton. Guimaraes in the middle in his own half. Being camped in is Joelinton. Now Fabian Schär switching the ball out from Newcastle's right to Newcastle's left. Brought down first time on the right foot of Livramento. Moving forward was Anthony Gordon, who goes down, but Livramento stays in possession and stays on the ball, and then has to play it out of play because Anthony Gordon is down and is not looking at good state. Anthony Gordon, who's been, during the international break, subject to his international allegiances, can still technically qualify to play for the Scottish national team, although many have advised him to stick with the England cause. He was the player of the tournament for England's under-21s at the European Championships back in the summer. He just slipped on the surface there. He's back up on his feet now, but just slipped as Livramento was charging down that left-hand flank. Just something for Eddie Howe just to be temporarily concerned about. Something for the ownership to be concerned about. The owners are in the house this afternoon. Now Joelinton finds himself down on the deck. Well, Newcastle are actually top of the injury list, Premier League. Not a particular table you want to be top of. They had 8 players that have been confirmed to be out with injuries going into this game. And in matter of fact, due to the clog-up of the injury department, there was as many as 128 players across the Premier League this weekend who were confirmed out with injuries. We're heading to that part of the season. Well, play is going to restart with a drop ball. 20 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0. One of 5 Premier League games taking place at 3 o'clock. Elsewhere, our other 2 country games, Nottingham Forest lead by a goal to nil. Bournemouth lead Sheffield United by a goal to nil as Joelinton has the ball on the left-hand side. 21 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0. Jackson wins it back for Chelsea. And now Sterling driving forward. He's got only Fabian Schär to beat. He's got Palmer alongside, but tracking back well is Trippier. He managed to haul Sterling in, but not before conceding a foul and becoming the first player this afternoon to enter Simon Hooper's notebook. So Chelsea with a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area in a central position. Sterling driving forward, looked as if he got himself free, but a little bit of a shove in the back by Kieran Trippier has won Chelsea a free kick in a promising position. Incredible one by the England right back to even get to Sterling, let alone bring him down. And it's going to be a Chelsea free kick just off centre towards the left-hand side. Literally, the ball is placed as the grass on the line of the D appears. Sterling over it, James over it, Thiago Silva leading the conversation. Who fancies it? It's just about enough distance to curl it up and down the wall, but it's going to have to be precise to beat Nick Pope. Midway through this first half, Newcastle United lead thanks to Alexander Isak's goal in the 13th minute. Chelsea with a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. Thiago Silva still trying to sort out the defensive play and the attacking play, where the wall situates and who attacks what. It's going to be Sterling to take. Steps up, right-footed, and scores beautifully! A fantastic free kick from Raheem Sterling, draws Chelsea level, curled on his right foot, side-footed into the top left-hand corner. Nick Pope left with no chance whatsoever, and Chelsea hit back. 23 minutes in, Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. A superb free kick. Raheem Sterling steps up, side-footed on his right foot into the top left-hand corner. The 4 in the Newcastle United wall couldn't jump quick enough. Nick Pope didn't have a chance in the Newcastle United goal. And Raheem Sterling with an excellent free kick to equalise for Chelsea. His 5th goal of the Premier League season so far. And what a brilliant strike it is. What a brilliant game this is becoming. Midway through the first half, Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. Well, Chelsea have been the kings of entertainment, haven't they, over recent weeks? Aside from that 4-4 draw against Manchester City, they beat Tottenham 4-1 in that pulsating Monday night match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a few weeks ago. It was 2-0 to Brentford, and then that exquisite 2-2 draw against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge before that. This is Reece James on the right side for Chelsea, driving forward inside Newcastle's half. He's got Nicholas Jackson offset on the right side, but he moves infield and along the line to Palmer. Sterling, left side, edge of the box, steps infield, has a curling effort. Well, once you score once, you kind of get the bug to do it again, but that time it was straight into the loving arms of Nick Pope, as Gordon now drives on the left-hand side. It's end-to-end here at St James's Park. Him up against Thiago Silva. Reece James also tracks back, but Silva wins the ball back for Chelsea, but just slips and concedes a corner out on the left-hand side, and so Newcastle with a set-piece opportunity. 25 minutes in, 1-1. Elsewhere, goals from the Championship, where Norwich have taken the lead against QPR, Plymouth have taken the lead against Sunderland by 1-0, and Swansea find themselves 2 goals to the good against Hull City. Meanwhile, here at St James's Park, 25 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 in an end-to-end encounter here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's going to be Trippier to swing this corner kick in on the left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinging delivery. It goes in towards the back post. Towards Joelinton, whose header goes wide of target. He came diving in at the back post, did Joelinton, but he just couldn't quite steer his effort on target. Trippier's corner into Joelinton. Couldn't quite head it back where it came from. Tried to glance it into the right-hand corner, but he could only glance it wide of goal. Sanchez would have been beaten all ends up in the Chelsea goal. Well, his back was to goal. A golden opportunity for Newcastle United to re-establish their lead. It's picked up loosely though by Joelinton. It's now to Guimaraes on the right-hand side. It goes out for a Newcastle throw on the right-hand side, midway inside their own half. A game that's just 26 minutes old. It feels like it's being played at the frantic pace of a last 10 minutes of a game. We're going to take you to the City Ground in just a minute, but we just cannot take our eyes off this. I hope you're enjoying this wherever you're listening in from. This is Livramento on the left-hand side, just inside Chelsea's half. Guimaraes through the middle. Back into the path of Jamal Lascelles. Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side, 10 yards inside the Chelsea half. Moving in field is Miley. Now Bruno Guimaraes. A little bit of a touch from Jackson, but will not stop Guimaraes in his tracks. Midway inside the half. Forward towards Joelinton through the middle. Out towards the right-hand side into Trippier. Heavy touch, sees Palmer win it back for Chelsea. Midway inside his own half. Cucurella back into the path of Badiashile. And now Ugachukwu in towards Enzo Fernandez, laid out to the left into Sterling, and now Palmer inside opposition territory. He's got Cher for company, but he manages to win the ball impeccably. Kieran Trippier wanted it offset on the overlap, but it's Cher again on the right hand side. Trippier eventually does get it, 10 yards inside Chelsea's half. 27.5 minutes gone. Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1. Trippier out to Almiron. He's got Cucurella for company, moves infield in towards the path of Guimaraes. Out towards Almiron again. Cross goes in first time on his right foot, but it's going to eventually find Gordon, but not as sweetly as he would have liked it in the first place, and so has to lay it back to Tino Livramento, who moves in towards the centre. Guimaraes under pressure from Nicholas Jackson. Now Fabian Cher, 5 yards from the inside the half. Now towards Almiron, lays it back, looking to find Joelinton, cleared away by Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea appeal for a handball, but Isak has possession still for Newcastle. Livramento out towards Gordon on the left side. Livramento on the underlap. Gordon's going to have a curling effort. Comes off of Reece James. Flicked away by Sterling on the edge of the area. And now Almiron on the right-hand side. Out towards Trippier. Almiron 25 from goal. Right side. Short towards Joelinton. Inside the area. The ball pinballs around. Appeals for handball from a Chelsea quarter. Not given. One back again by Newcastle. And by Bruno Guimaraes. Out towards Livramento on the left-hand side. Everybody back now pretty much from a Chelsea persuasion. Guimaraes from left to right, but snuffed out by Palmer, but one back straight away by Lascelles. Kieran Trippier along the line towards Guimaraes. Flicked out in towards the path of Miguel Amon, who's got Cucurella for company. Short to Guimaraes, challenging behind by Ugachukwu, but Newcastle keep hold of possession. This is Amon against Cucurella on the right-hand side, right by the corner flag. Cucurella, who was stamped on by Joelinton, unintentionally, it has to be said. Lewis Miley. Now Guimaraes playing the dummy towards Cucurella on the right side. Towards the edge of the box he goes. Puts a cross in towards the near post, but it's a comfortable take in the end by Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal, who launched it for first time, looking to find Nicholas Jackson, and suddenly we can breathe as Newcastle have possession on the halfway. A frantic first half hour at St James's Park. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. Alexander Isak with the opener after 13 minutes, and then Raheem Sterling with a fantastic equalising free kick 10 minutes later. And Jamal Lascelles in possession here now for Newcastle United. In towards the path for Isak, has 2 against him. Conor Gallagher ruffling him up, but Isak clears it off in towards the path for Amon. The referee says play on. He thought there was a foul by Gallagher there, but Amon moves forward on the right hand side, edge of the box, the cross goes in, looking to find Isak, but it evades him as Silva blocked the supply line off, and out of play it will go for a goal kick, and suddenly you can finally breathe. Meanwhile, we'll take it to the City Ground where Brighton have equalised. Evan Ferguson with a goal in the 26th minute. Elsewhere in the Championship, Coventry a goal to the good against Millwall at the Den, half an hour into that one. The other 2 games we're going to keep a keen interest on. The first one at Turf Moor, Burnley taking on West Ham United. Currently goalless in that one, although just a few seconds ago Luca Colascio has latched onto a fine crossfield pass on the edge of the box and leads a shot towards the left post, for the keeper making a big save. Reece James here for Chelsea, lays it across into the path of Cole Palmer, edge of the box, puts it inside, lays it out towards James, inside the air on the right hand side, back it goes into the path of Enzo Fernandez, and it's a big hand from Nick Pope, who dies out towards his left. A big left hand to stop Enzo Fernandez's bullet shot inside the area. Palmer lays it out towards James inside the area. Back it goes in towards the path of Enzo Fernandez, who strikes it first time with his right foot. Pope parrying it away. And it's a Chelsea corner. On the right hand side as they attack, it's going to be Conor Gallagher to take. He's going to whip it in with his left foot. 31 and a half minutes gone. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. Gallagher to take. Floated in towards the penalty spot and headed on by Badiashile, but it's straight to Nick Pope in the Newcastle United goal. It's a well-worked delivery by Conor Gallagher. Straight into the path of Benoit Badiashile, who's pretty much glued to the penalty spot. Towering header, but straight to Nick Pope in the Newcastle United goal. Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. So 32 and a half minutes in at Turf Moor. We gave you the update on Burnley against West Ham. The other 3 o'clock commentary, which we'll be bringing you extra updates on, comes from Kenilworth Road. It's Luton Town 0, Crystal Palace 0. 32 minutes on the clock in that one. The real big opportunity in that one was Thomas Kaminski making a sensational save to afford a great chance. A rebound forward to Jeffrey Schlupp of Crystal Palace on the edge of the box and struck goalwards, but the ball ended up in the keeper's gloves and dead at the inside of the right post. You can follow that one on Flash Score on the app, available on the App Store and on Google Play. Meanwhile here, 33 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. This is Fabian Schär in possession now for Newcastle towards Joelinton on the halfway. Bruno Guimaraes now moves out towards Raheem Sterling, but the referee's going to pull play back. Meanwhile, there is one other Championship game which we're going to be keeping a keen interest on, because the league leaders Leicester City are in action at the King Power Stadium. They take on Watford. 31 and a half minutes into that one. Currently goalless between Leicester and Watford. Pretty even game. Leicester dominating in terms of possession. Have had a couple of shots on goal, but in terms of attempts has been quite level. 31 and a half minutes played in that one. We'll keep you up to date on that one as the afternoon bears forward. Newcastle over a free kick on the halfway. Deadpan in the centre. In towards the area it goes. It's going to be headed on by Fernandez and brought down by Joelinton, and so Chelsea will win themselves a free kick. Mind you, haven't done so already, don't forget to download the Flash Score app, which is available on the Apple App Store and via Google Play. Plenty of stuff available as well through the latest updates, so download that on the Apple App Store and on Google Play. Meanwhile here, Chelsea in possession, Reece James in space in the centre, out towards Cole Palmer on the halfway, driving forward now. He's got Sterling out towards the left, exactly who he finds towards the edge of the box. Sterling now inside the air, up against Trippier, steps inside of him towards Cole Palmer, who just couldn't quite keep the ball in play. Ball threaded through into him from an acute angle, tried to make the run, but he couldn't quite latch onto it before the ball went out. Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1. Minor two other live Premier League commentaries this afternoon. Nottingham Forest against Brighton, currently 1-1 in that one. Anthony Elanga with the opener after 3 minutes following an assist by Morgan Gibbs-White. Evan Ferguson getting an equaliser midway through the first half, and Brighton have been forced into a couple of early changes. And Ansu Fati and Tariq Lamptey coming off, assuming they're for injuries. We'll give you an update on that as the afternoon goes on. But 1-1 there. You can listen to that game elsewhere on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. 10 minutes to go in the first half there. Meanwhile, AFC Bournemouth, they lead Sheffield United by 1-0 at Bramall Lane. Again, 10 minutes to go in the first half in that one. Two sides desperately in search of a victory, it's fair to say. The ball was threaded over the top for Chelsea there, but it's snuffed out by Newcastle, and Kieran Trippier will play the ball back into the path of Pope, but dangerously, and it's picked on by Gallagher, who's inside the air, has an effort at goal, but in the end comes off a Livramento, I think it is. Couldn't quite get enough venom to the effort, and as a matter of fact he actually went for a goal kick. And now Newcastle drive forward. This is Guimaraes on the half, on the left hand side, midway inside the Chelsea half now. He's got Anthony Gordon alongside into the left. Goes back into the path of Livramento. 9 minutes to go, plus stoppage time until the break. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here in a gripping first half at St James's Park on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Alexander Isak gave Newcastle United the lead in the 13th minute, tapping home from short range for Raheem Sterling. Equaliser, a free kick midway through the first half. Nicholas Jackson now driving forward for Chelsea, but ball down on the challenger Joe Linton. Legal in the eyes of the referee Simon Hooper. Livramento plays it forward in towards the path of Joe Linton now, who's under the challenge of Nicholas Jackson. Jamal Lascelles now for Newcastle United, plays it out towards the right hand side. Trippier lays it forward in towards the path of Almond, had both Cucurella and Badiashile up against him. Badiashile manages to see the ball off, and the last touch coming off of Miguel Almond and out of play is going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. Meanwhile, in the Championship, we take you to Ashton Gate, where Bristol City have taken the lead against Middlesbrough by 1-0. 38 minutes in to that particular game. Bristol City leading Middlesbrough by 1-0. Meanwhile, you can also keep up to date on the Flash Score app with Leicester City 0, Watford 0, and all the other games in League 1 and 2 on the app. Meanwhile, ball on the right hand side, Miguel Almiron up against Cucurella here. Back it goes in towards the path of Kieran Trippier, 25 from goal. He's got Sterling for company, back towards Bruno Guimaraes now. Cross goes in, right footed, but nobody in the area for Newcastle United, and so cleared away by Reece James quite comfortably, but as he cleared it away, it was won back by Fabian Schär for Newcastle, who has the ball just inside his own half, lays it out and towards the path of Jamal Lascelles. This is Kieran Trippier for Newcastle United on the right hand side, 10 yards from the edge of the Chelsea half. Forward it went in towards the path temporarily of Almiron. As Trippier plays it forward again, Miguel Almiron moving infield from the right hand side. He's got two up against him, goes back into the path of Alexander Isak now. This is Joe Linton. Isak again had two up against him, but snuffed out by Chelsea. There's Cucurella in possession, who goes back to Robert Sanchez. Inside the area along the line towards Thiago Silva. He played out from the back and just about got away with it. As Enzo Fernandez drives forward now for Chelsea. Beyond the halfway he goes. He's got Sterling out towards the left. Exactly who he finds on the edge of the penalty area. Jackson inside the area. Palmer makes the run in. He's got Cucurella just in behind. He's got Trippier right in front of him. And Sterling managed to get the cross in, not before Trippier got the final touch, and so it's going to be another Chelsea corner. This time out on the left-hand side as they move forward, and 6 minutes out from the break, Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1, and the Blues have another golden opportunity from a set piece. It's going to be Cole Palmer to take the corner out on the left-hand side. Thaddeus Shield once again makes the move forward. He came so close to scoring from the last set piece for Chelsea. But it's going to be Palmer to take. He's going to whip it in on his left foot from the left side, in towards the near post where it's headed away by Jamal Lascelles. He's going to come back out for Palmer, who's in a bit of a tangle in the end with Anthony Gordon, who manages to win the ball and drive Newcastle forward. Lewis May looked to lay it out towards Miguel Almiron, but it was a heavy pass in truth, misplaced pass in truth. And it goes out of play for Chelsea throwing out on their left-hand side. Approaching the final 5 minutes of an enthralling first half at St James's Park. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. Alexander Isak with the opener 13 minutes in before Raheem Sterling equalising midway through the first half. In truth, it's been a game that's been pretty end-to-end. Played at a high tempo right from the first whistle. Although, something we kind of expected from two of the great entertainers of the Premier League. As Guimaraes lays the ball out, looking to find Miguel Almiron on the right-hand side. Thaddeus Shield mops up for Chelsea. Now Thiago Silva, midway side his own half. This is Thaddeus Shield now, forward towards Cole Palmer. He's got Cucurella out towards the left if he wants him. Forward into the middle. Gallagher's attempt to win the ball was snuffed out before it goes into the path of Nicholas Jackson. One back by Trippier. Now Livramento drives forward for Newcastle United towards the half, and it goes out towards Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side, driving forward 30 yards from goal, up against two, gets past Luka Chokru before then being brought down by him, and it's going to see the Chelsea man in the book. French international, his 10th appearance this season. There's the Luka Chokru. Now finds himself on a yellow card, and Newcastle find themselves once again with a set piece in a promising position. Kieran Trippier, perhaps no surprise, over it once again. In this sort of territory he has been absolutely mustard. He's 25 from goal. It's just a little bit further out from the Raheem Sterling free kick, which he scored around about 20 minutes ago. Robert Sanchez just lines up his wall. Kieran Trippier getting some solicited advice from Fabian Schär. Free in the Chelsea wall. Jackson, Fernandes, Ukachukwu. Schär lets his opinion be known and now lets Kieran Trippier step over the football. The Newcastle United linchpin. Newcastle United set-piece king. Free kick just off centre to the left, 25 yards out. Trippier over it. Curls on his right foot, and Sanchez with a big hand to parry it out of play. Kieran Trippier with a free kick. Tipped onto the crossbar by Robert Sanchez. He came so close to giving Newcastle United the lead again. "42 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Two minutes of normal time in this first half to go. Howell and Tyndall give out their instructions. Matter of fact, Chelsea, as I said, Newcastle yet to lose a Saturday Premier League game at 3 PM under Eddie Howe. They've won 12 and they've drawn 6. The last team to beat the Magpies at this time was back in October 2021. That team was Chelsea. As Gordon has possession in towards the path of Livramento. Lascelles plays it forward towards the half, flicked on by Ukachukwu, and now laid out in towards the path of Kieran Trippier on the right hand side. Forward it goes into the path of Miguel Almiron, midway inside the Chelsea half. Joe Linton in the centre has a go at goal from around about 25 yards out, but his efforts forever rising, and out of play it goes for a goal kick. A minute normal time to go here. In the other Premier League commentaries, it's Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 1, and Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 1. Now, other two Premier League 3 o'clock kickoffs at Turf Moor, it's Burnley 0, West Ham United 0, approaching the final minute of the first half in that one. Well, there was a couple of big moments in that game. So we have a look at the stats of the first half here. 6 attempts each. Chelsea with 4 shots on target in comparison to Newcastle United's 1. But at Turf Moor, Nuka Koryosho for Burnley broke into the box, went over after a challenge from an opposition player. The referee said no penalty. Then VAR had a look at it, went to review the incident, and then they said no penalty. VAR coming to the rescue of Samuel Barrett, and both teams have really no complaints. So 0-0 in that one as they enter stoppage time at the end of the first half. Burnley 0, West Ham United 0. And we enter stoppage time at the end of the first half here. Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1. And Sterling has the ball on the left-hand side towards the edge of the box. He's got Kieran Trippier for company, but it's cleared away by Miley now for Newcastle. And driving forward is Almiron on the right-hand side as we enter the first of 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half. Ball laid out in towards the path of Alexander Isak on the left-hand side. Steps infield in towards the path of Guimaraes, and now in towards the path of Livramento, left side, edge of the box now. Bruno Guimaraes, who's got Conor Gallagher for company. Lascelles, now Cher for Newcastle. Out to the left and to Livramento midway inside the Chelsea half. Given a bit of a push in from behind by Reece James, and so Newcastle a free kick on the left-hand flank, and referee Simon Hoover just going to have a quick word with Reece James, nothing more than that. Livramento goes down on the deck, which just gives a little bit of time to update you on the progress at Kenilworth Road. Still goalless between Luton Town and Crystal Palace as they enter stoppage time at the end of the first half at Kenilworth Road. 2 minutes added on in that one. Nothing really to update you on since the last time we went there. Newcastle United with a free kick. Kieran Trippier to take on the left-hand side towards the 35 yards out from goal. Free kick goes in and it's mopped up by Robert Sanchez. Pretty much little fuss. So midway through stoppage time at the end of the first half, a minute and a half of the free added on at the end of the opening period. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here, and Chelsea are going to end the half strong. Ball floated forward, looking to find Sterling. Pope comes out, he's going to pick it out and then knock the ball out of play. It's going to be a Chelsea throw on the left-hand side, 15 yards inside Newcastle United territory. It's going to be Cucurella to take it. Short to the path of Palmer on this left-hand side. Goes back towards Enzo Fernandez. Steps infield from the left. He's got James out towards the right. Gallagher in the centre is who he finds. Picked up by Newcastle and by Bruno Guimaraes. Laid out to the left. Looking to find Gordon on the halfway. Exactly who he finds. And a foot race with Thiago Silva. Silva a big challenge. Wins possession back for Chelsea. James steps out. Gets a better with Joe Linton. And then Joe Linton brings Reece James down on the half. It's going to be a Chelsea free kick out on the right-hand side. And it's going to be a yellow card as well for Joe Linton's troubles. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead against Birmingham City by a goal to nil. Southampton a goal to the good against Huddersfield, and it is Bristol City 2, Middlesbrough 0 at Ashton Gate. As we enter the final knockings of the first half here, Joe Linton, the second Newcastle United player to move into the book, as Reece James has just a little bit of a conversation with somebody in the dugout. Looks like it was Eddie Howe he was having his afflictions with. Thiago Silva just trying to be peacemaker to the situation. As we enter time, beyond added time at the end of the first half. Chelsea free kick on the right hand side, bang on centre, picked up by Gordon, moved on by Isak and laid out towards Gordon on the left hand side, midway inside the half. This is Isak driving through the middle, steps inside into the area, he moves, but Chelsea with Badiashile managed to win it back, and Chelsea win a free kick, and that might well be the final action of what has been a frantic and frenetic first half here at St James's Park. A couple of goals to update you from in the Premier League. The goals coming late in the first half. From in the Premier League, the goals coming late in the first half in our 3 o'clock kickoffs. We'll do that in a second. Half time at St James's Park, and it's been a Mark Cucurella playing him onside. Isak slotting home from close range. Whilst for Chelsea, Raheem Sterling had a free kick midway through the first half. Struck on his right foot in towards the top left-hand corner. And that is why we are level at the break. It is Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 in the Premier League here on the Flash Score live audio commentary service. Slotting home from close range. Whilst for Chelsea, Raheem Sterling had a free kick midway through. It's live Premier League commentary, unofficially here on the Flash Score live audio commentary service. St James's Park, where it's Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. It was an action all ends first period here in the northeast, and it was Alexander Isak that gave Newcastle United the lead after 13 minutes. Good play from Lewis Barley, threading the ball in towards his path, who from around about 12 yards out poked the ball past Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal before Raheem Sterling's free kick just off centre from the left-hand side, around about 25 yards from goal. Struck it on his right foot, side-footed into the top left-hand corner. And it's one apiece as we head into the second half here at St James's Park, which Newcastle gets underway for. It's attacking left to right in this first period, and Raheem Sterling straight away into the action. Threads the ball forward into the path of Nicholas Jackson, pulled down by Jamal Lascelles, and Chelsea with a free kick right at the start of the second half, and Jamal Lascelles with a yellow card right at the start of the second half. And well, we said follow that, and already within the space of the first 20 seconds or so, Chelsea have a free kick in a dangerous position. Not even had time to say hello to everybody yet. Nicholas Jackson brought down, was planted across the face by Jamal Lascelles. It's now two of the Newcastle United back four now on yellow cards. Kieran Trippier also picked up a yellow in the first half. I think Nicholas Jackson was looking for a little bit more, and I think he was a bit optimistic in asking for that. Well, we know Sterling can strike them from here because he did it in the first half. Similar angle, similar position. Lightning, can it strike twice at St James's Park? We'll give her the team lineups in just a second. I'm not even giving you time to do that because of the frantic nature of this opening to the second half. For the Newcastle United wall, Bruno Guimaraes acts as the draft excluder. Referee Simon Hooper just trying to organise proceedings, and it's going to be left for the devices. Well, it looked like it's going to be left for the devices of Reece James, but Raheem Sterling has now stepped back into the conversation, maybe just trying to tee it up for Sterling. But it looks like it's going to be Reece James to take. He has his eye on goal from the left side. He's going to strike it with his right foot right on the edge of the box. James over the free kick, curls it, but over the bar it goes, and so Chelsea with the first chance of the second half, but a chance that goes a begging. A quick check of the lineups in for you for Newcastle. It's Pope in goal, a back four of Trippier, Lascelles, Cher and Livramento, a midfield three of Miley, Guimaraes and Joelinton, and up top the three of Almiron, Isak and Gordon. For Chelsea, Sanchez in goal, lining up 4-2-3-1 is James, Silva, Badiashile, Cucurella, Ukachukwu and Fernandes, the midfield pivot. Palmer, Gallagher and the goal scorer Sterling, the midfield three. Nicholas Jackson occupying the role as sole striker. We played 2.5 minutes of this second half. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1, Newcastle with a throw. We're also going to keep you up to date with the other action in the Premier League. 3 o'clock games, 3 live commentaries. Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 2 and Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 2 can be listened to elsewhere on the Flash Score live audio commentary service as Bruno Guimaraes wins Newcastle United a free kick on the halfway. We'll also give you updates on Burnley against West Ham, but there has been action at the start of the second half, which we will bring to you very shortly. Also Luton against Crystal Palace in the Premier League at 3 o'clock this afternoon. But Newcastle United with a free kick out on the left-hand side. 5 yards from the edge of the Chelsea half. Kieran Trippier to take it. 3 minutes into the second half at St James's Park. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score live audio commentary service. Trippier's free kick swung in on his right foot towards the edge of the box, flicked on and away by Cucurella. One back though by Guimaraes, who lays it out towards the left-hand side, in towards the path of Gordon, who's got Reece James to accompany on the far side as we look at proceedings. Newcastle attacking towards the Gallagher end and win themselves a throw. Gordon on the left side, midway inside the Chelsea half. Goes back towards Livramento on the halfway. Jamal Lascelles inside his own half and on the line towards Kieran Trippier. Threads it out from the middle, out towards the left side. This is Anthony Gordon for Newcastle United, who move their way forward. Gordon now for Newcastle United, left side in towards the path of Joelinton. This is Livramento now, left side, goes back towards Joelinton once more. Plays a deceptive cross in. It's going to fall in the end to Kieran Trippier. Now out to the right and towards Almiron, edge of the box. Now towards Joelinton, inside the area it goes. Almiron making the underlapping run, but it's cleared away by Raheem Sterling for Chelsea. Livramento wins it back and pinball around the edge of the box. Sterling wins it and then loses out towards Trippier, who turns past Fernandez. Hooked clear by Cucurella. Only as far as Tino Livramento now for Newcastle United. Out towards Joelinton, who's got Reece James for company. Joelinton goes down on the challenge of Reece James, and the decision is corner kick as opposed to free kick. Is something that perhaps will spare a blemish for Reece James in the end. So Newcastle United corner, 5 minutes into this second half. It's going to be taken on the left-hand side as Newcastle United attack in this second period, and it's going to be taken by Kieran Trippier, chief proprietor of set pieces for the Magpies. So Trippier with the corner. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinging delivery from the left-hand side. Swung in towards the near post where Sanchez slips, and nobody from a Newcastle persuasion can then take advantage of that, and the ball will run out of play for a goal kick. So elsewhere in the Premier League, in our non-commentary games, Burnley have taken the lead right at the beginning of the second half against West Ham United. So Mohamed Kudus brought down Burnley player inside the area, and then Samuel Barrett blown for penalty kick as Newcastle have a corner. Trippier right hand side, right foot in swinger towards the back stick. It's Lascelles who lays it across goal, but it's cleared away by Nicholas Jackson, who then goes down on the challenge of Kieran Trippier, but nothing being said about that by the referee. And so Newcastle with another corner, this time on the right side again, and it's going to be Kieran Trippier to take. He's going to swing it in on his right foot. 51.5 minutes gone. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Trippier's corner goes in towards the back post. It's flicked away by Jackson. It falls to Gordon, who has a go on the volley. It takes a deflection, but it's straight at Robert Sanchez and the Chelsea goal. Just to take you back to Turf Moor for a second. Well, we will in a second, because again Newcastle move their way forward, but it's going to be held by Sanchez. So Mohamed Kudus brought down. They brought down a Burnley player inside the area, so penalty kick, and then it was Jay Rodriguez who took his chance, striking right into the middle of the net past Alfonso Areola in the goal. So Burnley 1, West Ham 0, 10 minutes into the second half. Nicholas Jackson here in towards the path for Sterling, inside the air for Chelsea. He's got two to beat, but big challenge from Guimaraes. It had to be timed to perfection, and indeed it was. It's cleared forward now, flicked on by Reece James for Chelsea. Thiago Silva in towards the path of Enzo Fernandez. Sterling still down on the deck. He wanted play to be stopped. It's not going to happen. It goes back into the path of Reece James. 52.5 minutes gone. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. In the other games of the Premier League, Luton Town 0, Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 2. As Sterling flag stays down. Cucurella left hand side. He's got Kieran Trippier for company. Cucurella goes back in towards the path of Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, and now to Mukachokwu. Reece James now to Conor Gallagher, looking to unleash Cole Palmer on the right hand side, but it's one back by Livramento down Newcastle's left, and he wins Newcastle a throw. So in the Premier League, Burnley 1, West Ham 0, Luton 0, Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton 2, and Bournemouth added a third against Sheffield United. They lead by 3-0 at Bramall Lane. We're also keeping up to date with what's happening in the Championship. Early goals in the second half. Hull have pulled one back against Swansea, so it's Swansea 2, Hull City 1. Middlesbrough from 2-0 down have equalised against Bristol City, so 2-2 at Ashton Gate. And the big game is at the King Power Stadium, where we're watching the league leaders Leicester City in action against Watford, currently goalless in that one in the second half. Jackson right hand side, moving infield to the edge of the box. Sterling inside the air, lays out towards Jackson, who brings it down up against two. Still made to retain possession, but it's going to be cleared away in the end by Bruno Guimaraes inside Newcastle's area. Joelinton up against Mukachokwu, but it's going to be the Chelsea man who wins out. Well, this game has been played, the first whistle, pretty much at 100 miles an hour. This is Enzo Fernandez, 10 yards inside the Newcastle United half. Lays it out to the right, lays it out to James. Mukachokwu now. This is Enzo Fernandez in the middle. One back by Newcastle, one back by Joe Linton. Now Bruno Guimaraes up against Conor Gallagher, brought down by Gallagher. And Newcastle win themselves a free kick, 10 yards from the edge of opposition territory. Conor Gallagher trying to appeal his innocence, but all he's going to get is a yellow card shoved in his face by Simon Hooper. Well, down Bruno Guimaraes late and in from behind. Newcastle free kick in position they can really move themselves forward in. It's going to be Kieran Trippier to take. 10 yards from the edge of the Chelsea half, just off centre towards the left-hand side, and in matter of fact it's going to be left for Bruno Guimaraes to take back. So Gallagher, the second Chelsea player in the book this afternoon after Ugochukwu in the first half. Ball laid out to the right-hand side for Newcastle United. It's in the possession of Trippier. And on the line through the middle, we're going to find Isak, cleared away by Chelsea. Sterling to move on the left, but one back by Lascelles, who steps out on the right-hand side towards the edge of the box. He's got Almiron overlapping, and Almiron, who he finds. Reece James has actually also been booked, the Chelsea skipper, for his protests and demonstrations as well. And Chelsea may be protesting again because Newcastle find themselves with another free kick. So Reece James, the Chelsea skipper, also in the book following his complaints to Simon Hooper. And we'll kick the ball away as well after. So 56 minutes on the clock here at St James's Park. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. 2 first half goals. The big difference in this game. But Kieran Trippier looking to put Newcastle United back in front, as they were in the 13th minute when Alexander Isak gave them the lead. There's a free kick out on the right hand side as Newcastle move forward in this second half. It's round about 30 yards from goal. Nicholas Jackson, the one-man Chelsea wall. Trippier to take, right-footed. Referee blows his whistle. Chelsea keeping a high line towards the edge of the box. Trippier's free kick goes into the area. It fails to beat the first man, Cucurella, and it's going to be picked up by Nicholas Jackson now for Chelsea. The ball goes out of play. Last touch coming off a Newcastle player, and so it's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. I know what's happening in the Championship then this afternoon, whilst you do get the chance. Birmingham 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Bristol City 2, Middlesbrough 2. Southampton leading at Huddersfield by a goal to nil. Goalless in that game we're watching at the King Power between Leicester City and Watford. 58 minutes gone, goalless there. Millwall 0, Coventry City 1. Norwich needing a big win there. Daniel Wagner's side 1-0 up to QPR as Newcastle win possession back loosely inside Chelsea territory. Raheem Sterling giving the away a free kick now. Meanwhile, Plymouth 2-0 to the good against Sunderland. Sunderland have been going great guns prior to today. Preston a goal to the good against Cardiff, down to 10 men though. Stoke 0, Blackburn 1, and Swansea 2, Hull City 1. Kieran Trippier then with a Newcastle United free kick on the right hand side. 15 yards inside Chelsea's half. Free kick swung in towards the edge of the box. Flicked on, looking to find Livramento. It's going to be washed out by Ugochukwu, and it's going to be and we'll be back with some Champions League commentary as well on Tuesday and Wednesday night. 3 games on Tuesday, 3 games from Wednesday from match day 5. Plus Everton against Manchester United tomorrow from 4:30. It's sure to be a frivolous atmosphere at Goodison Park for that one. Now, it's been quite the atmosphere and it's been quite the game here at St James's Park, but it's just cooled down somewhat. 58.5 minutes on the clock. Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 1. It was Alexander Isak who gave the Magpies the lead after 13 minutes. Good work from Lewis Marley to play the ball in towards his path, and from 12 yards out turned and then put the ball past Sanchez for Raheem Sterling's free kick midway through the first half. Level proceedings up for Chelsea. A right-footed curling effort into the top left-hand corner. Newcastle win themselves a free kick, and Raheem Sterling finds himself in the book. Newcastle a free kick on the right-hand side, midway inside the Chelsea half. Sterling being pulled. Chelsea half. Sterling a yellow card. There's been 7 all told in this game. Free kick taken quick. quickly and worked out to the left-hand side into Anthony Gordon. Underlapping was Joe Linton, but Gordon works across in towards the path of Jamal Lascelles, who heads Newcastle United into the lead. And the captain leads by example, and Newcastle United find their noses in front again. An hour on the clock. It's Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 1, and it is the skipper Jamal Lascelles who's the scorer. St James's Park is bouncing, all from the free kick from Trippier. Joe Linton lays the ball out in towards the path of Gordon on the left-hand side. He has Ogachokwu for company. He steps inside. He then looks up. He plays a pinpoint cross in towards the path of Jamal Lascelles in the penalty area, who was left detached, was left unmarked, and had the simple task from around about 6 yards out to head the ball past Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. He heads it back from where it came from, and he heads it into the back of the net. Newcastle United lead by 2-1, and Eddie Howe, happy with the goal, knows there's still more to come. Captain's goal from Jamal Lascelles. And now Chelsea have it all to do again. They went behind in the 13th minute. They're now behind with 30 minutes to go. And it's a slip from Thiago Silva, which allows Joe Linton in. And Newcastle United have a third. A lapse at the back from Thiago Silva. And then Joe Linton from the edge of the penalty area took a couple of touches, one-on-one with Robert Sanchez, slots the ball home. He heads into the Gallagher end. He celebrates with his teammates, and they find themselves 3-1 to the good now to Newcastle United. How a game can change in a matter of minutes. The ball given away by Silva, looking to play it back to his keeper. Joe Linton picks it up on the edge of the penalty area and then takes a touch. Keeper one-on-one, slots it home on his right foot to make it 3-1 to Newcastle United. As cool, as calm as you like from Joe Linton. His first Premier League goal of the season. Not a bad time to find it. Newcastle 3, Chelsea 1, and the Blues have been undone in the space of 60 seconds. It could be gone in 60 seconds. Thiago Silva, how costly a mistake could that be? Reece James now back into the path of Badiashile. Chelsea need to try and calm themselves. Well, they scored 4 in each of their last 2 Premier League fixtures. Well, they need to find 4 here. Need to find 3 at least. Joe Linton conceding a free kick for Newcastle. Thiago Silva lays it out in towards the path of Reece James on the right-hand side. All hands to the pump now for Chelsea. Trip from Trippier, but he manages to recover the situation, or has he? Nearly fell towards Gallagher, who then tried to lay the cross into the penalty area, and I think he may have just won Chelsea a corner for his troubles as well. Indeed he has. Well, this game really has had everything. Meanwhile, just to tell you elsewhere, João Pedro scored a penalty for Brighton. They're now 3-1 to the good against Nottingham Forest. Meanwhile here, Chelsea corner, 63.5 gone at St James's Park. 2 goals in the space of a minute have changed the game for Newcastle United. Firstly Jamal Lascelles, then Joe Linton, but now they face the Chelsea who come up as, in fact, it went for a goal kick, that effort in the end. My apologies. The Chelsea have possession on the right hand side. This is Ogachokwu on the half. Back it goes towards Thiago Silva. Now Badiashile, who's got Cucurella out towards his left. Forward and threaded through the middle in towards the path of Cole Palmer, who then lays it forward, looking to find Raheem Sterling, but it's going to fall into the thankful arms of Nick Pope in the Newcastle United goal. Lays it out short and out to the left and in towards the path of Fabian Schär. Him and Jamal Lascelles have swapped sides in the second period. Well, Mauricio Pochettino, watching on from the stands, will be shell-shocked with what he's seen. Just when they were turning the corner, they may well have just found a little bit of a stumbling block. This is Cucurella on the left-hand side, 5 yards inside Newcastle United half here for Chelsea. We'll come back to St James's Park in a second, but we're going to take you to Kenilworth Road now, because midway through the second half, Crystal Palace have broken the deadlock against Luton Town. We'll come back to that in a second. This is Sterling. Palmer out to Cucurella, left-hand side, edge of the box, 25 minutes to go. Chelsea trail Newcastle by 3-1. This is Ukachukwu. Now Gallagher lays it out towards James on the right-hand side here. Conor Gallagher goes out towards Reece James again. This is Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea. Goes back into the path of Badiashile on the halfway. Goes out towards Thiago Silva now. Ukachukwu again. This is Enzo Fernandez, who's got Miley for company. It goes out in towards the possession of James. Gallagher right side towards the edge of the box with Fabian Schär for company. Gallagher goes down under the challenge and will win a free kick for his efforts. Much to Fabian Schär's frustration, Conor Gallagher wants it taken quickly. I don't think he's going to be allowed to have that, let that happen. Odsonne Edouard getting the Crystal Palace goal in the 67th minute. Mikel Olise with the assist. So at Kenilworth Road, Luton Town 0, Crystal Palace 1. You can get up to date with live text commentary on the Flash Score app. Meanwhile, Chelsea are readying a couple of changes. It's going to be Carlo Mudryk and Moises Caicedo coming on for Chelsea. Free kick though taken by James on the right hand side, in towards the box, cleared away, running only as far as Cole Palmer, but loses out. And this is Bruno Guimaraes, and Chelsea are open and exposed again. Guimaraes on the left hand side, he's got Gordon moving forward, brilliantly intercepted in the end by Reece James, and Cole Palmer will pick up the pieces. Back it goes to Sanchez, but only as far as Joelinton. Livramento on the halfway. That goal at Kenilworth Road between Luton and Crystal Palace has been ruled out, so still 0-0 there. Livramento goes out towards Bruno Guimaraes. 67 on the clock. Newcastle United 3, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Ball goes out in towards the path of Joelinton. Left hand side towards the halfway. He's got Cole Palmer up against him. He won the championship. Bristol City have now retaken the lead against Middlesbrough. 3-2 in that. Give you the reason as to that disallowed goal at Kenilworth Road in just a second. This is Jamal Lascelles for Newcastle United, playing the ball forward, intercepted by Badiashile, but won back by Fabian Schär. And then Cole Palmer just digging himself in a little bit too much into Schär, and he wins free kick. It's Fabian Schär. It's going to be 3 changes for Chelsea. Rolling the dice now is Mauricio Pochettino. Conor Gallagher is going to be replaced by Mykhailo Mudryk. And the other two coming on is Moises Caicedo and Armando Boya. Nicholas Jackson's going to depart the scene. He's going to be replaced by Moises Caicedo, and Armando Boya also coming on. So we're all up to date. 68th minute. It's Newcastle United 3, Chelsea 1 here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. So Chelsea, 3 changes, looking to stem the tide. Ball goes back to Robert Sanchez, and that's been a dangerous commodity this afternoon, to say the least. And it nearly was the case again there, has to be said. Forward it goes beyond the halfway. Cole Palmer laid out in towards the path of Raheem Sterling now for Chelsea as we approach the 70th minute. Palmer again. He's got options forwards. And in towards the path of Boy, right hand side, in towards the penalty area. He moves now for Chelsea. Has been brought back out wide. This is Reece James. Boyer once more. Well, we're going to take you back to Kenilworth Road in a second, but this is Sterling inside the area for Chelsea. Ball cleared away by Newcastle, who now look to stand firm and keep a hold of this 2-goal lead as we enter the final 20 minutes here at St James's Park. Free kick to Newcastle, and we're going to go to Kenilworth Road because you may remember that Odsonne Edouard had a goal disallowed by VAR for handball about 5 minutes ago. Well, Luton Town have taken the lead. It is Ted Mengi who's put the ball in the back of the net, and Luton lead Crystal Palace by 1-0. 72 minutes in to that one at Kenilworth Road. Luton lead Palace by 1-0. Live text commentary available of that one on the Flash Score app. Bournemouth lead Sheffield United by 3-0, and Brighton 3-1 up against Nottingham Forest in the other Premier League 3 o'clock kickoff. Still goalless in our featured Championship game between Leicester City and Watford. You can keep up to date with all the EFL action on the Flash Score app as the ball goes back in towards the path of Robert Sanchez and the Chelsea goal. Short towards Badia Shiel. Goes out in towards the path of Cucurella. Dinks it down first time, but it's going to be picked up loosely by Kieran Trippier midway inside the Chelsea half. Jamal Lascelles, whose goal put Newcastle back in front for a second time on the hour mark before Joe Linton added a third in the 61st minute, just a minute later. And Hull City from 2-0 down have equalised at the Swansea.com stadium, so it's Swansea City 2, Hull City 2 in the Championship. Una Guimaraes goes back in towards the path of Jamal Lascelles. Nick Pope in the Newcastle United goal now. He's it out along the line, out towards the left-hand side and in towards the possession of Fabian Schär. Joe Linton, now Guimaraes, now in towards the possession of Jamal Lascelles. This is Kieran Trippier for Newcastle United. Forward it goes along the line, looking to find Miley, but it's going to roll all the way back towards Sanchez and the Newcastle goal, but being put under huge pressure and later off towards his left, but loses out towards Anthony Gordon. And Reece James is in a bit of trouble because he's already been booked and he's been hauled down and he's been given a second yellow card. He's been given his marching orders, and it goes from bad to worse for Chelsea. The skipper's sent off. Chelsea down to 10, and if the damage wasn't bad enough as it is, it has got a heck of a lot worse because their captain has just been dismissed. Bringing down Anthony Gordon as he was charging through on goal after possession was given away. And Simon Hooper had no other option but to brandish the second yellow card. Chelsea down to 10. James has been sent off. It goes from bad to worse for the visitors. Words from Mauricio Pochettino up in the stands. He can't do anything about it. Newcastle hope to further inflict punishment here. Kieran Trippier over the free kick on the left-hand side, around about 25 yards from goal. He's going to swing it in on his right foot. 73.5 minutes gone. Trippier's free kick in towards the area, cleared away by Thiago Silva. So we're pushing and shoving. And Thiago Silva, who has claimed the responsibility of the captain's armband, and because of said red card, Levi Colwill is going to come on here, and Cole Palmer is going to be the player sacrificed for him. They're worried about a further Newcastle onslaught in the last quarter of an hour or so. So Colwill will try and occupy that right side, is best served in the absence of Reece James. slots in the left back position, and so Badia Shield will play centre back, and Thiago Silva on the right of what's going to be a Chelsea free in the final quarter of an hour or so. It's going to be Jamal Lascelles in possession though now for Newcastle United, who go back into the path of Nick Popes. And goals to update you on, we'll go to Kenilworth Road in just a second, but in our big game in the Championship, Leicester City, with a quarter of an hour to go, have taken the lead against Watford at the King Power Stadium by a 1-0. We'll give you updates on that in just a second. Newcastle have possession with Anthony Gordon up against Cucurella on the left-hand side. Quarter of an hour to go. Newcastle 3, Chelsea 1. Livramento again on the left. Chelsea being stretched to the 10. This is Guimaraes now. Cross goes in. Down by Miguel Almiron. He's got Trippier just in behind. This is Kieran Trippier now. He's got Miley alongside. He's got Almiron as well. It's Almiron who he finds on the right. Guimaraes now. Out towards Trippier. Looks up. Lays it in towards the path of Livramento. Miley plays it back and towards Guimaraes, cleared away by Badia Shield, but picked up again loosely by Guimaraes in the area. He's got Joe Linton in behind, but it's going to be cleared away by Cucurella after a tame shot. Goes straight towards his path. It's picked up again by Newcastle. This is Fabian Schär driving into the area. He has a go at goal, palmed away by Robert Sanchez and hooked clear in the end by Thiago Silva. Newcastle pressing on the door for a fourth. This is Joe Linton midway inside the Chelsea half. Kieran Trippier now. Joe Linton. He's got Livramento out towards the left-hand side. Exactly who he finds. Up against Cucurella. Gets past him, but Cucurella draws in the foul. It's going to be a free kick to Newcastle United. Simon Hooper not having any of Cucurella's protests. And it's going to be another Newcastle United free kick in a promising position. Just to update you on what's happening elsewhere, we're going to go back to the Championship, go back to the King Power. And who else but Jamie Vardy on the score sheet for Leicester City. 77.5 minutes on the clock. Leicester City 1, Watford 0. The league leaders in front at the King Power. Meanwhile, at Kenilworth Road, Crystal Palace have found an equalising goal. Mark Gay, he waits a huge opportunity. He receives a precise cross. And it was Mikel Elise who weaved his way past opponents, unleashed a magnificent effort from the edge of the box into the top left-hand corner. Thomas Kaminski had no chance of reaching it. It's 1-1 between Luton Town and Crystal Palace. 79 minutes now on the clock in that one. Meanwhile, here at St James's Park, 77 on the clock. Newcastle United 3, Chelsea 1. Trippier with a free kick on the left-hand side. Swung in on his right foot. He goes direct for goal and then headed away in the end by Levi Colwood. It's going to be a Newcastle United throw out on the right-hand side towards the adjacent towards the penalty spot. Chelsea camped in. It's going to be Trippier to take this throw on the right-hand side. Plays it back around about 10-15 yards. We find Livramento snuffed out by Breuer. Ball goes out of play. Or throw. Mark Cucurella, in fact, was booked following that foul. Because of the accumulation of yellow cards, that's his 5th of the season so far. He's going to miss the next match, and it wasn't because of the foul, it's because of the fact that he wouldn't stop talking to the referee about the foul. And so as a consequence, he finds himself in the book, and he's going to miss Chelsea's next league game, which is against Brighton and Hove Albion, his former side, next Sunday. This is Trippier on the right-hand side in the middle of the Chelsea half. It goes out in towards the path of Miguel Almiron. Overlapping is Trippier once more. But moving infield is Almiron up against Enzo Fernandez. Back to Jamal Lascelles. This is Fabian Schär for Newcastle United. Lofted over the top out into the path of Livramento. Left-hand side, edge of the box. He's got Cucurella for company. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest have pulled one back against Brighton, 3-2. Morgan Gibbs White penalty, giving Nottingham Forest a lifeline in that one. Meanwhile here, Newcastle looking for a fourth and looking to really finish Chelsea off. This is Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side, ball in towards the penalty area. This is Miley, steps inside, but Colwell does well to rescue the situation, win the ball back, and then Gordon shoves him in the back, and Chelsea win themselves a free kick. Just over 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Newcastle United 3, Chelsea 1. Newcastle took the lead courtesy of Alexander Isak's goal in the 13th minute. Raheem Sterling equalised midway through the first half. Jamal Lascelles on the back of a brilliant cross in from Anthony Gordon put Newcastle back in front on the hour mark, and then Joe Linton taking advantage of a mistake at the back by Thiago Silva, slotting the ball home from close range about a minute later. Chelsea down to 10 men. Reece James sent off for a second yellow card with around about 20 minutes to play. That's the story of the cards. We enter the final 10 minutes here at St James's Park. Newcastle look like they're going to be ready in some changes as the ball moves forward in towards the path of Lewis Miley, but play was stopped for an infringement at Faisal too early, and it's another yellow card. It's racking up for Chelsea yellow card count. Levi Colwell, the latest to be booked. Matter of fact, he's the 5th player to be booked, and Reece James was sent off for a second bookable offence. Chelsea will have some disciplinary answers to account to. Alexander Isak's afternoon's over. He is the man who got the party started for Newcastle United in the end. It was his goal in the 13th minute. It was Lewis Miley who played the ball in towards his path, turning past Cucurella, who had played him onside, and then on his right foot smashing the ball past Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. So Isak comes off, and he's going to be replaced by Matt Ritchie, who's going to try his best to see off the last 10 minutes or so for Newcastle United. Levi Colwell, just confirmation of his yellow card. Mykhailo Mudryk gets his first touch of the afternoon. That's no surprise that he's been a quiet passenger considering what's happened since he came on. Literally within 4 minutes of him, Boy and Caicedo coming onto the pitch to try and change the game in a positive sense for Chelsea. Did their captain get dismissed for a second bookable offence. This is Thiago Silva for Chelsea out towards Sterling on the right hand side, who was so dangerous for the Blues in the opening period as his free kick that drew them level. This is Enzo Fernandez now, goes back in towards the path of Robert Sanchez. This is Badiashile. Now Mudryk driving forward through the middle here for Chelsea. He's got Sterling out towards the right. He's got Enzo Fernandez out to his he's got Boyer out to his left. This is Sterling, moves inside. He's got Caicedo to the left of him, but he had 2 up against him and 2 didn't fit into 1 as Almiron lays the ball forward into the path of Bruno Guimaraes. He's got Cucurella for company. Guimaraes lays it out in towards the path of Trippier, right hand side, 10 yards inside the Chelsea half. He's got Gordon alongside him, plays it short into the path of Lewis Miley. And now Trippier plays it back in towards the possession of Jamal Lascelles. This is Kieran Trippier for Newcastle United. Livramento now played short in towards the possession of Anthony Gordon on the left hand side. Forward it goes, threaded through, and now it's in towards the path of Anthony Gordon inside the penalty area, looking for Newcastle's force. That's inside, and Anthony Gordon slots it home on his right foot from around about 12 yards out to get Newcastle United's 4th. A kiss towards the fans at the Gallagher end, and that may well have just put the seal on the 3 points for Newcastle United. 7 minutes to go. Newcastle United 4, Chelsea 1. A goal no less than his efforts deserve as well, Anthony Gordon. As for Mauricio Pochettino up in the stands serving a touchline ban, he does not know what has hit them in this second half. Newcastle move their way forward. Forward it goes, the ball into the path of Gordon. Steps inside of Badiashile and then slots it on his right foot. Side foots it past Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal, who has had 100th appearance in the Premier League to forget. As for Anthony Gordon, well, his golden patch just continues. His 5th Premier League goal of the season and a goal that finishes Chelsea off. Well, it was a game that came with great expectations and it is duly delivered. For Chelsea, an afternoon to forget. For Newcastle, it may well be another night to savour on Tyneside. This is Thiago Silva, Enzo Fernandez, just playing for pride now at Chelsea. Mikhailo Mudryk, one back by Enzo Fernandez. It goes out into the path of Levi Colwill. Into Fernandez. Now back into Caicedo. Fernandez around about 25 from goal. Offs the ball over the top in towards Boyer in the penalty area. Comes off the shoulder of Fabian Schär and into the arms of Nick Pope in the Newcastle United goal. 5 minutes of normal time left to go, plus stoppages at the end. And we can take you to some of the other games because there's been some big drama late on in the Premier League this afternoon. Luton Town have gone 2-1 up on Crystal Palace. Jazidi Ogbene teeing up Jacob Brown inside the box, rolling the ball in the end past Sam Johnston. So Luton lead Crystal Palace by 2-1. Meanwhile, at Turf Moor, West Ham have got an equaliser against Burnley. Divan Mubamba reacting first to a lofted pass and calmly gliding the ball into the net with his body. And so 1-1 between Burnley and West Ham. And it's 2-1 to Luton against Crystal Palace. That could be a big win for Luton, especially considering Everton's points deduction. They take on Manchester United tomorrow, and that game is live here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. As Newcastle make another change, it's going to be the skipper, Jamal Lascelles, who's had such a good afternoon. His afternoon comes to an end, and he's going to be replaced, as will Miguel Almiron. Raheem Sterling comes off for Chelsea. At this point now, it's about rest and rotation. For Miguel Almiron, as he comes off towards the side of the pitch, he gets the long walk round, he gets the long applause. And coming on for Chelsea, Madueke. He's going to be given 5 minutes at the end just to see whether something can happen, but at this point it's very unlikely that's going to be the case. 3 minutes of normal time to go here. Newcastle 4, Chelsea 1 in an incredible afternoon here at St James's Park. Newcastle in possession. There's Fabian Schär on the ball. There's late drama to come at Turf Moor. We'll get to that in just a second. Just having a look at the second half attempt stats. Newcastle United with 8 compared to just a solitary 1 for Chelsea in the second period. Also going to take it to the Championship in just a second. Some drama at the death there. Huddersfield with an equalising goal against Southampton in the 89th minute. 1-1 in that one. Meanwhile, Moises Caicedo, because he's a free kick here. And going back to Turf Moor, it's Thomas Souček in the 91st minute, first minute of stoppage time, that has given West Ham a 2-1 lead against Burnley. Burnley, who did go 1-0 up at the beginning of the second half through the penalty spot. But it looks like it's going to be West Ham who pick the points up elsewhere in the Premier League. Luton Town 2, Crystal Palace 1. Brighton down to 10 men, leading Nottingham Forest by 3-2. And Bournemouth 3-0 to the good against Sheffield United this afternoon. We'll give you an update on what that does to the proceedings up for Chelsea. A right-footed curling effort into the top left-hand corner. Newcastle win themselves a free kick, and Raheem Sterling finds himself in the book. Newcastle a free kick on the right hand, 16 points to their name, but could be leapfrogged by Brentford if they beat Arsenal in the late kick-off. 2 minutes of normal time left to go here, plus stoppage time at the end of the 90. Newcastle United lead Chelsea by 4-1 here at St James's Park on the Flash Score Live audio commentary series. Ball lofted over the top, looking to find Gorn. It's going to be picked up in the end by Miley, who goes to ground. But referee